Well, let's bring in our reporter, Karinda Jagmohan, who is live at the scene. Karinda, we were just speaking to TJ Masilela, Executive Chairman of the Gauteng Provincial Community Board, and he says details are a little bit sketchy. You are on the ground. What information do you have at this point?
Well, at this point, we now know that those who passed away, who were killed in the early hours of this morning, were the patrollers that were essentially volunteering to safeguard this community, conducting patrols overnight. And the community raised concern that they have been unarmed and they are, of course, at the peril of what has happened here. Now, as you can see behind me, there are forensic experts on the site. They have been here since quite early this morning, and they're now, well, we're just going to move away from these scenes as well, because they are also starting to remove the bodies of the patrollers too. At this point, they are examining the remains. We know that there were partial burn wounds on the bodies, and police are still investigating with regards to how this happened. I'm going to bring into the side who's with us currently, the police spokesperson, Brigadier Brenda Muradili. Brigadier, thank you so much for speaking to us. As our viewers actually, see what is unfolding here, can you tell us what we know so far in terms of how these men died?
As far as we know, according to the witness reports, when the police were called in here around 6 a.m., they were told that this incident happened at 3 a.m. They found this man already passed away, and they had gunshot wounds as their bodies were partially burned. It is reported by witnesses that this group of community-based patrollers were converging here to continue with their patrols in this area. That's when they saw 5 suspicious men, and when they confronted the men, a fight ensued, and they were shot at, and eventually part of their bodies were burned, and 8 of them of the victims were taken to hospital with injuries. At this stage, we have identified 7 of the 8 that are in hospital.
Brigadier, as we look at these scenes, the community raises concern about what they're seeing. Can you just tell us about the process going forward with what the forensic experts will be, the work that they are doing?
These days, the bodies will be identified. The ones that are in hospital, some of those that are able to talk, they have talked to the police and they have given the police their names. And we have also called in the coordinators from this village of the patrollers in this area, of the community-based patrollers. They are busy with the police as well as the Serious and Violence Crime Unit, which is here on the scene. And then they will be getting the details of everyone who's involved, and then the processes will unfold from there.
Thank you so much, Brigadier, for your time. As I stand here, and what we're seeing is the forensic experts moving the bodies. As they do so, family members who are just to the side are crying because they're seeing their loved ones' bodies now turned over, examined, and now being wrapped and carried away. We won't show you that because you can see the state of the bodies, you can see the blood as well. The community surrounding say that they have been in fear over what has happened. I'm going to bring in one of the community members. She doesn't want to be on camera. She's, of course, afraid for her own safety considering what has happened. But ma'am, thank you for speaking to us. I mean, you're just watching these scenes unfold. Tell me about the community's sense of not feeling safe during this time as you watch this.
We've been here in Marry Me from 2012, and there's nothing happening here. I feel like our councillor is failing us. These people have been patrolling here ever since. There's no backup of the police. They don't have any weapon. They don't have anything. It's a trauma to us. Yes.
These are men that you knew. These are men that you knew who were volunteering to safeguard your community.
These men were here from 2012. They volunteered to protect us from 7 o'clock until 7 in the morning. Yes, they've been volunteering since 2012, and there's nothing happening. Our councillor is failing us and a lot. Yes.
Tell me about the state of crime at the Marry Me Informal Settlement and surrounding.
The shacks are burning. There's a lot of from 6. And there's nothing that is happening. Police station mo ba tswalla di tavern ba irang mara he dilo tse so di irahetse a ona backup. There's no backup. Like the police and our councillor are failing us. Yes.
Thank you for speaking to us, ma'am. She, of course, speaks about the issues of safety in this community. And in fact, last year, this community and surrounding areas marched calling for more police resources and also calling for their CPF to be skilled, to be assisted with resources as well. A year later, we are coming to a point where we're watching the bodies of 4 men who have risked their lives to actually safeguard this community now being loaded into the mortuary van. I think we can just take you back to these scenes as we see it, because the bodies have been covered essentially. So my colleague Rianda Dlala will just show you as the bodies of the CPF patrollers are being placed into the mortuary van. As they do so, and just earlier while we were in this interview, the community members, the family members essentially were crying out loud. In fact, we are seeing them right now crying, watching their loved ones' remains being loaded into these vans. This a shock to the community, and just the sounds of it all, seeing the bodies being turned over as forensic experts try to examine what has happened here, but more especially what police are going to try and do going forward is to ascertain how the partial burn wounds came to be. We still don't have precise answers with regards to this. What we know so far is that 7 of the 8 people who were injured during the seemingly gun battle are also patrollers, part of the community. It's just one of those who were injured. Police are yet to ascertain their identity, and their investigations will, of course, bring that to the fore. Around us, the entire area has been cordoned off with police tape. It's right at the front of the Marry Me Informal Settlement, just next to the road, actually. And there are dozens of police vehicles here right now. In fact, just behind the cars that you were seeing, quite a few police vehicles, more community members too, and their job now is to also collect evidence around the area. Police say that they've not recovered any firearms at the scene, and of course at this point the search for the perpetrators of this incident is ongoing as well. Right now, just at the center, this Marry Me Informal Settlement, community members gathered watching, and it's going to take some time, but it looks like perhaps within the next hour the bodies will be removed and the crime scene tape will be removed as well. But the sense of fear still remains in the Marry Me Informal Settlement, with a call to provide resources to CPF members, because they say that police are not as visible as they need to be as crime continues in this community.